So you guys had a question. We're here with the table. If you would like to ask any question, you can ask it right now.
I was just asking what you feel about political violence as a whole, like broader than just the Charlie Kirk situation.
Sure. Yeah, we condemn all political violence.
Mm-hmm. Would you say that the root of it is our gun violence issues?
Not at all. No. So if you go back even 100 years, there's philosophers, leftist philosophers who have written things that make the leftists do the violence. There's a guy named Herbert Marcuse. Have you ever heard of him? He was a father of cultural Marxism. And he wrote this paper called Repressive Tolerance. And what it says is that we are all Marxists. We want to bring about a Marxist world. But we can't do it if we have these pesky people on the right. So yes, we do believe in tolerating, but we will only tolerate people that agree with us. In the time being, we have to not give any tolerance to people who don't agree with us, get them out of the picture by any means necessary, and once they're gone, then we can have a perfect world. So people read stuff like that and they say, oh look, this philosopher everyone talks about says that we don't have to tolerate the right, that we can do anything that we want to get them out of the picture. And that's where the violence comes from. It's from philosophy. Guns don't kill people. Guns are a tool. People kill people.
You're more likely to be killed with hands and feet than a firearm in America.
That is true, but I feel like that is a small group of people. I think I know a lot of people that are more left-leaning that aren't like, we need to kill people that disagree with us.
I agree, but the point is to indoctrinate them. The left wasn't a violent organization 30 years ago. They became violent very recently. It takes years of indoctrination to the people to get them to go from we want peace all over the world to we want violence.
So you don't think guns are a part of the issue at all?
No, it's the ideology and the people who believe in that ideology. So if I'm just a normal guy, I'm not going to walk around just, killing people for no reason. There has to be a reason behind it. And a lot of times it's mental health issues. Like, America did away with asylums. We used to have asylums where we kept these crazy people, and now we let them loose on the streets to do whatever they want. Then they get hooked on these ideologies. They're already crazy. And then that gives them a reason to act out their fantasies of hurting people. And they don't really care if they live or die. Because a lot of times with school shootings, they ended up popping themselves after.
Yeah, if I could just interject at that one. I think our correlation between attaching gun violence to political intolerance is a relatively new phenomenon, right? Even with school shootings, like we've had guns in this country since the beginning, the inception. We weren't having these mass shooting problems up until the last, 50, 60 years, max, probably less.
And did you know that in the 60s and 70s, people would take their rifles to school, your guns to school, and you would put them in the locker, and then you would take them. Kids were bringing guns to school, putting them in the locker, and there was never an issue. The issue is not the guns. We've experienced that. The issue is something else, right? And if you look at leftist ideology, it is a nihilistic ideology, which means that death is the ultimate honor, right? Because what you have is, if you say the world is crap, right, the people that think conservatives are crap, they're bad people, we're all oppressed or oppressors, what's the ultimate way to release your oppressiveness? Is by dying. So it's gone from, and now you see it, right? It went from this step, and now they're just killing us. They're literally killing us now because they think that that's the ultimate way to get rid of us, and that's the issue.
I think you are jumping to the extreme of the extremes to generalize the whole left. You're saying they just want to
leftists.
Leftist ideology.
Okay, I don't think that's leftist ideology.
Yeah, the thing is, it's not whether it's everyone. It's about whether there's a critical mass of people that are willing to go to such extremes. And that doesn't even require a majority. It doesn't even require a quarter. It could just require 1% to 3% of people who are willing to go to such extremes to do political violence.
I mean, look at Seattle, for example. My friend over here, Cam, he's been beat over the head, concussed, pepper sprayed, and kettled. People have hurt him for just reporting on these things in Seattle. And it's Antifa. They run the streets. Every weekend they have another protest, another riot, another crazy thing where the police are it's out of control. It's almost every weekend. And political violence doesn't just mean killing. I mean, it's also hurting people, beating up people just because of their ideology. Oh, you think differently than me? I'll hurt you. It's not good. And that's just an example of every weekend in America that the left is doing violence. And I don't believe that the right is doing that at all in America. Not to this extreme. Not to this extreme at all. January 6th, one person died on January 6th, and that was one of us.
But that's a lot of people of one ideology all agreeing that violence is going to be the answer.
The thing is, the right wing has condemned that violence, and the left wing has not condemned the violence that's happening right now in Portland.
I think a lot of
Portland and Seattle.
I think a lot of people have. I think you guys are focusing on the people that want to be more like, you know what, violence is the only way we can go. But I think you're ignoring a lot of people that are like, no, violence is...
So Maxine Waters actually said a couple of years ago, go find these Trump supporters, find the people that work in the Trump administration, harass them, beat them, hurt them, make for sure they do not feel comfortable in public. And that's an actual leftist figurehead, or left figurehead in Congress. If they're saying it's okay, to harass these people, make it unsafe in public, do you think that that's a problem?
I think that's a problem. I think you're choosing people that, like, I don't even know who that. I don't think a lot of people are listening to her. I don't think a lot of people are.
A lot of people. She's on CNN all the time. Everyone's listening
A lot
to
of
her.
people are taking her advice. I think you're looking at the extreme.
Well, if a lot of this is every weekend though.
There's a lot of violence on the right too. I don't think. You,
When was the last time a big mass thing happened besides January 6th?
I think you guys tend to support the genocide that's in Israel. That's a lot of violence, no?
Define genocide.
Killing a group of people
When was
purposely.
the last time that we had a president that wasn't owned by the nation of Israel? I'll just say
He's
that.
not owned by Israel. In fact, he actually owns Israel.
That's violence.
Right,
That's
left,
political
black,
violence.
white,
You
red,
guys are
blue, it doesn't
supporting.
matter, bro.
We're talking about American political violence. Okay, I can't even freaking talk specifically. But Israel is a completely different thing. It's urban warfare. It's a war zone, and they drop leaflets. They send out text messages. I don't want to get into Israel too much because we're trying to keep away from that topic to honor Charlie because there's a lot of stuff on the right now of conspiracy theories.
To
But
go back to your point about leftist violence, you have to understand this is not something new. This is not something that's randomly happening. It happened in China, it happened in Vietnam, it happened in Cuba, which I'm Cuban. So every single time the leftists take over, what do they want? Revolution. To what? Break down the status quo. How do they do that? Not through peace. They do it through revolution. Che Guevara, Fidel Castro, Pol Pot, Mao Zedong, Stalin. Every single time, that's how they do it. And you know who they use? All of you. They use the university students. They use leftists. The authoritarians, the strongmen, convinced the leftists to fight for them. It happened in Iran where the Ayatollah took over. It happened in Cuba with Castro. They get the leftists to disrupt and cause destabilization. Once they take power, they get rid of all of the leftists that helped them get in power. Mao Zedong created the Red Guard. When he got in power, he said, all universities canceled. I want you to get my book, it's called the Little Red Book, put it in your pocket, and go around, and if any teacher has spoken out against me, I want you to tell the communist commissar we're going to arrest him and kill them. They did that. The army didn't step in. They allowed the protesters and the revolutionaries to do what they want. You know what Mao did after he got power? He said, I don't need any more destabilization. He sent them out into the field to work, and 9 million of them died. That's what he's done. The Shah did it, the same thing to the leftists. The leftists are always, we call them the useful idiots. Not all of them, but the ones who are revolutionary. They are used to destabilize, to go after the young people in universities every single time, hundreds and hundreds of years. This is the same thing happening over again. This is not new. What you're experiencing is not new. It's just new to you. It's new to our age.
So you don't think that the right use violence for revolution either?
no, because the right doesn't want to be revolutionary. There's a very, very small sect that might do it, but they're not violent. When's the last time something other than January 6th happened? When is it?
The last time something other than January 6th happened is when
There's a big protest, violent riot.
what's his name, Kyle Rittenhouse, when he went.
That was a leftist protest.
But it was
Antifa.
it was
He shot a pedophile. He shot a pedophile, and actually 2 pedophiles, I believe. And then a crazy leftist was trying to hit him with a skateboard.
He went out of his way to go kill black people.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
All 3 were white. All 3 were white. No, none of the people he killed were black. He didn't kill any black person.
Okay, let's say he didn't kill any black people. He went out of his way to kill people, right? He went out of his way to kill people. Yet he got out of prison. Y'all threw him a party and you clapped him up. You threw him a party and you clapped him up. He went on a tour.
Yeah,
for
because he was
killing
defending
people.
himself.
He went out of his way.
It was proven in court that he defended himself.
Okay.
He defended himself against people who were trying to hurt him and kill him.
So wait,
Were you
sorry.
asking about recent right-wing terrorist attacks?
Yes. No, not terrorist attacks, like riots and violence.
To kill black
He
people?
went out of his way with a rifle to kill people.
To kill black people? You said earlier you said black people.
I thought it was black people, but it was people
So
in general. So he
did
went
that
out of
change
his
your
way.
idea of your argument that you made?
No, because at the end of the day, he went out of his way. He didn't have to leave his house. He used a gun, and then y'all threw him a party. He went on tour. Who has gone on tour after killing people? Who has gone on? Republicans. Y'all
Was it
celebrate
ruled by
that.
a jury that it was self-defense?
A jury can be biased.
No, but I'm asking you, was it ruled by a jury that it was self-defense? Because if the answer is yes, then you have to allow the legal system to do what it does.
Okay.
And if you don't agree with it, then you
So,
say we
but
have to reform our legal system
Why
to
do
not
you-
let anybody
but why
off.
do you? At the end of the day, he murdered somebody, right? At the
Not
end of the-
murder.
It's not murder.
It was murder.
Do you know what that unjust murder is? Unjust killing of people. That was justified.
Dude, but you still
According to
throw
the law,
a
it was
party.
justified.
So you still throw a party for justified murder. You still throw a party.
It's not, no, there's no such thing as justified murder.
Sorry.
went on tour.
Are you saying, you mean the same way the left threw a party for Luigi Mangione when he murdered that CEO?
That was bipartisan.
That was
He hasn't
murder.
been convicted of that yet.
Okay. So let's say he doesn't get convicted.
Let's not-
Is it still okay to throw a party for him? If a jury rules that it was not, let's say they rule it was self-defense, is it okay to throw a party for him?
We haven't thrown a party for him.
But I'm saying, is it okay
But
in
we
that
haven't.
case?
But we haven't.
Let's go on a thought
So
experiment
let's get there.
together.
Nah, but we haven't.
If
when we get there,
if he
It's a
doesn't get
hypothetical.
ruled-
I don't do hypotheticals.
Okay.
That's how you test your logic. You
Yeah,
have to be able to
yeah.
take a hypothetical to make sure your principle stands on its own.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Back to the topic before, but are you guys just totally against the idea of restricting guns to help deal with the issue?
Yeah, I'm totally against restricting guns.
You don't think there should be more steps for people to go through?
Every single time I bought a gun, I had to go through a background check, and I have zero history. I've never even got a police ticket on the freaking highway. Never been pulled over. So my background check goes like that. Oh, he's clean. He's never committed a crime at all in his entire life. Other people have to go through more loopholes, more steps, and it takes a lot longer. Even leftist communities, like look at Chicago, has the most restrictions on guns, but also has one of the highest murder rates with guns in the entire United States. So
California, we have the strictest gun laws, and there's crime there. The problem is not guns. As I said, in the 60s and 70s, kids would take the rifles to school, put them in their locker. No one would say anything. There was no gun violence back then. This is all a new phenomenon that started in the last 15 years. And you have to look at what happened in the last 15 years that gave rise to all of these mass school shootings. That's what you should focus on, not the fact that there's a weapon. People can kill people with anything. Knives, fist, anything.
again, you're more likely to be struck by lightning 4 times over than be killed by a gun in America.
So I'm saying, I understand from your point of view that the guns aren't the issue, but to deal with this heightened violence that we have right now, don't you think it would be wise to kind of restrict the amount of guns that we have, like everyday people just having guns all the time, when everyone's heightened violence is
Well, we
heightened?
already have things in place so people who shouldn't have guns don't get guns. You have to go through a background check as well. So there are things in place already, more than we've ever had, restricting people's abilities to get guns. But again, if we can agree that something happened in the last 15 years that sparked off this violence, guns have been around much longer than 15 years, and logically you have to say, well, maybe it's not the guns. Maybe the guns are just a tool to enact what these people already want to enact.
But hasn't the leftist ideology been a thing long before 15 years too?
Yes, it has.
Again, he already explained how mass murders and mass massacres happened through the left throughout the years as well. With or without guns.
So you guys are saying guns haven't changed in the last 15 years. Leftist ideology hasn't changed in the last 15 years. Why are you saying that leftist ideology is the source then?
That's actually a great question. What's happened in the last 15 years is that NGOs, people like George Soros, Neville Singham, have been funding riots and protests. Now you have paid professional protesters getting paid $70,000 a year. You have unions that fund protests now. They are unionizing workers to fund Marxist protests. So money has come into the picture. There are professional protesters, and the job is to get you to believe that you're living in an oppressive society where we have the most freedom anywhere in the world. In England right now, if you post on social media, they will come to your house and arrest you.
Some guy said, "I love bacon," and got arrested. In Britain. No, and in person. He said, "I love bacon." The police said, "What did you just say?" Cha-ching. Took him in just for saying, "I love bacon," next to a Muslim guy.
Yeah, you have to know, you have to look at the world and say, is this the best society the world has?
Can I ask where you're getting your information about people being paid for protests and stuff?
Oh, that's a great question. Sure. The Democratic Socialists of America, the Party for Social Liberation, the People's Forum. You can look at all 3 of those organizations. We know the names of these people. We go to protests all the time. We know exactly where they apply for. We know exactly how much to get paid. I just made a video yesterday at a protest in front of the White House where we got surrounded and the cops had to remove it for our own safety because I was telling the protesters, this person is getting paid $70,000 a year. You're doing it here for free because you saw a flyer. If you're all about equity, why are they getting paid $70,000 a year? In fact, they also get 10 days of telework, meaning they don't have to go into work 10 days. This is an organization, and it's funded by George Soros, Open Society Foundation, Neville Singham, to cause destabilization.
I'm wondering, what do you guys think, because I think it's an important stakeholder to bring up. Did you guys hear about the DOJ study on domestic terrorism that was deleted just a few days ago, actually?
I haven't heard about that.
It was titled "What NIJ Research Tells Us About Domestic Terrorism." It was issued and published June of 2024, and it found that militant, nationalistic, white supremacist, violent extremism has increased in the United States and contributes to more instances of political violence in the United States than does left-wing violence.
So actually, let's get Cam over here. He has the 2025 statistic, and left wing is actually way more this year. That's why the left is more violent this year.
Yeah, again, I'd have to read the study. I don't like to speak about studies if I haven't read them. I also don't take studies just at face value because I don't know what you're telling me. I don't know what it says in there.
We don't even know the methodology of it, so and how they got to that conclusion.
For instance, Chicago says they have less crime than it did last year. They only prosecute 13% of the crimes. That means that every other crime goes unprosecuted. Therefore, it looks like we have less crime. I live in California. We have the same exact thing. You walk out on Hollywood Boulevard, it looks like a third world country. I don't know if any of you have ever been to Hollywood, but you have you have people smoking crack. You have people being assaulted. I've been assaulted.
I've been assaulted by illegal immigrants.
I got a cop, and I said, that guy just assaulted me, and I have it on camera. You know what he told me? You have to go file something with the police department because we can't do that here.
Even if you have video evidence and you show it to the cops, they're like, unless I didn't see it, I can't do anything. If you have a black eye and the guy's walking away and the cop just blinked and didn't see it, he can't arrest him.
I'd like to perhaps know the title of the 2025 study that found that more...
Yes, we gotta get Cam over here because he has it on his phone.
Okay.
I'll definitely, I'll get him down here once he comes back. I think he went to the restroom. Okay, well, I guess we're good for that.